So now what we're going to do is we're going to solve logarithm, and we're going to use what we did, those properties to solve. So here's an addition problem. We have log base 6, and so addition means I can multiply these two things. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as a log base 6, x times x minus 9 equals 2. So all I did was use the properties the other way. Addition means multiplication. And so now I have this, I can convert this. Now a log base 6 means this 6 equals this exponent. So basically 6 squared, because the base with the exponent equals whatever the log is. And this happens to be x times x minus 9. So I've gotten rid of the log because I've converted to an exponent. So now I can just solve this equation. So solving this equation, let's just go ahead and write it up here. This is 36, that's what 6 squared is. And this is x squared. I'm just distributing, and that would be minus 9x. And to solve any type of a quadratic, we have to make it equal to 0. So I'm going to move this over by subtracting it. So that makes this 0 equals x squared minus 9x minus 36. And to solve our quadratic, we can factor. So I'm going to factor this. So what two numbers multiply to give us a negative 36 and add up to a negative 9? And they happen to be minus 12 and plus 3. And once we have it factored, I can then make each factor equal to 0. So 0 equals x minus 12, and 0 equals x plus 3. And then I solve, so I add 12 to both sides. So x equals 12 for the first one. If I minus 3 to both sides, I get x equals a negative 3. And so I've solved this equation by first creating an equation that I can solve, which is a quadratic. So let's look at our second problem. And this one's actually a little easier because we have logs on both sides of the equation. So let's go ahead and rewrite this one by using the power. So that's going to be log base 7 x squared. This one is going to be log base 7, but because I have a plus, I can multiply the 27 times 3, which 27 times 3 is 81. So all I did was change. So when you have logs on both sides of an equal sign, the logs actually cancel out. So the log 7 and the log 7 cancel. So I'm left with x squared equals 81. And if we solve that, you can do it a couple different ways. You can take the square root of both sides. So x equals plus or minus 9. Remember, taking the square root of both sides is a positive and a negative. And so that's how we get our two answers.